Get in your seat. My opponent isn't Beato. It's you. Butler? What kind of magic is this? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Siesta sisters! 45, understood. Individual firing. 410, understood. Die, Butler! The Siesta sisters each readied their own golden bows and fired golden arrows. The two only pulled the bowstring together when using precision guidance. If they were fighting against an enemy before their eyes, they fired their bows at the same time. And the power was no different from what it normally was. What? It was deflected? There's no barrier. It was deflected with resistance alone. 45, target measurement. 45, understood. What? This is... am I broken? The measurement is going berserk. Anti-magic resistance. And endless 9. Even mythical class magical attacks have no effects on the target. Madonna, quanto sei hype, Butler. The warheads of the golden bows could penetrate any magical armor with their mutual corrosion. When attempting to block that using the anti-magic resistance stat, even something with 8 digits wouldn't escape penetration. Furthermore, even amongst the famous gods that appear in myths, there are not many who can reach a resistance stat of 9 digits. For that reasons, 9 digits were enough to measure along the almost all imaginable values. Butler filled all 9 of those digits with 9s. How foolish. When Butler-sama is serious, mere magical arrows cannot even succeed in making his hair tremble. The Siesta sisters dropped their golden bows in shock. To this Butler, it felt even less perceptible than 2 dragonflies passing by his side. What the hell are you guys doing? Are you playing or something? Monster! If your name is not Eva, then get the hell out of here. And you, get in your seat, you goddamn fake witch. I'll tear that mask off of yours. Face, vabbè, me sono inventato io. The Siesta sisters couldn't hide their fear at Butler's ferocity, and they backed up as though they had been struck. Beatrice watched this scene in shock. Butler? What is this supposed to be? Just what you're seeing. My opponent isn't you. It's her. The imposter over there who's assuming your name. I'm fighting against witches, and my method of denying them is to make anyone who calls themselves a witch my opponent and crush them. I've seen more than enough of your arrogance. Then Butler's eyes grew as sharp as blades as he fixated his eyes on the cruel witch. Magic my ass. Witch is my ass. You aren't a witch. I'll rip that mask off and tear it to shreds. Virgilia, get ready to fight. Understood. Preparations are complete, so go whenever you're ready. Beatrice, you stay back and rest. A quanto pare. Beato looked at Butler timidly. She still hadn't been acknowledged as his opponent. Was she qualified to watch the game board from the sidelines? Beato, stay back and watch. I'll tear it off. I'll take this fake witch completely apart. I won't let someone like this call themselves a witch. You protected the honor of true witches. Don't need to say anything. On your behalf, I'll teach her that the name of the Golden Witch definitely isn't that cheap. Those are the general rules. Thanks, Ronove. I get the most of the rules now. I see. You can't win with magic, so you came to face off with me in a world where victory is decided by something other than magic. Foolish people. You really think you can win against me with twisted logic? Damn right I do. I'll crush over all of your twisted logic, Aunt Eva. I am not Eva. That is the name of the old shell that I shed. I am the true witch, born inside of her. Don't try and trick me. Your true form isn't a witch or anything like that, but a flesh and blood human. The human culprit, Ushiromi Eva. Virgilia, reconstruct the second Twilight. Oh, Paradise Lost! Understood. On the second Twilight, Rosa and Maria were killed in the Rose Garden. We make our first move by applying the Eva culprit theory. Huh? Ridiculous. Comrades, try to remember. What form did Ushiromi Hideyoshi have? What's this supposed to be? Summoning of the dead. It's easy for a witch to bring even the dead to stand for testimony. An Uncle Hideyoshi who you could see right through was summoned. Magic sure is convenient. It looked as though he couldn't see what was going on there. Almost like a person on the other side of a TV. Witness summons Ushiromi Hideyoshi's testimony. Come, Hideyoshi, speak. I was taking care of Eva in the room the whole time. Eva didn't leave the room either, of course. Oh, bentornato Luke. Guarda, abbiamo appena iniziato a prendere ritmo. Abbiamo appena iniziato. Butler e Eva adesso si stanno scontrando. Appena adesso è iniziato lo scontro su come quello che ha fatto con Beatrice e Ronove in passato, di mettere a confronto la versione dei fatti magica con le presupposizioni, i presupposti e le idee senza magia di Butler. E adesso stiamo rivedendo il secondo Twilight e Eva Beatrice ha evocato Hideyoshi, lo spirito di Hideyoshi a testimoniare. E quindi ha detto questa cosa qui. I was taking care of Eva in the room for the whole time. Eva didn't leave the room either, of course. Aunt Eva. Around here, testimony that isn't read isn't worth crap. I demand that he repeats it again in red. Oh yeah, that's right. Sure, say it in red for him. I was in the room for the whole time. Both before and after the time period of the crime. See? Look. This makes it impossible for Eva to be the culprit. How will you counter this? Ridiculous. That move's so pathetic I could yawn. Beato never used childish tricks, not even once. Repetition requested. Aunt Eva was also in the room the entire time, before and after the time period of the crime. Uncle Hideyoshi was just there to create an alibi. You made Uncle stay in the room and stealthily snuck out. If that isn't true, this guy should be able to say so in red. Decline repetition. Hideyoshi's testimony is sufficient. There's no need to repeat that, right? She's back down. Mercy is unnecessary. This is a check. Yeah, I'll take it. This opponent is a piece of cake. Check. Maybe Uncle Hideyoshi didn't leave the room the whole time, but saying he was taking care of you the whole time is a bare-faced lie. Therefore, no alibi exists for you. You had a chance to slip out of the room and kill Auntie Rosa and Maria. If you think you can dodge that, try proclaiming in red that Auntie Eva didn't take a step outside the room. You can't, right? Checkmate. What is this? I don't get it. Sorry, Auntie. Even if you aren't used to the rules, beating your opponent down with all of your strength is how this game is played. Isn't it, Beato? Lei è timidina, cutie. The witch side resigns. Let us continue on to the next game. Next is the 4th twilight through the 6th twilight. It seems that the witch still didn't understand how to approach things and was losing her composure in irritation. She was probably also angry that a shot had been taken at her while she still didn't get what was going on. But it won't go easy, but I won't go easy on her at all. Just like she didn't go easy on all of the victims at all, I won't go the slightest bit easy on her. Virgilia, next crime. Let's reconstruct the incident with Dad and the rest. Understood. Rudolph, Kiria, and Hideyoshi. These 3 people went into the mansion and were killed there. My move won't change. Auntie Eva, you are the culprit. This time you don't even have an alibi from Uncle Hideyoshi. You claim that you were sleeping in that room all by yourself. But that is untrue. If you can proclaim it in red, just try it. I refuse. So tell me then. Eva is just a woman, and the people who were killed were 3 adults holding 2 guns, right? How did she kill them all by herself? How did she do it with those stakes as weapons? How is it that a stake shooting device that everyone keeps talking about... No, how is this stake shooting device that everyone keeps talking about constructed? Explain that. As long as you can't explain it, even if Eva doesn't have an alibi, it doesn't mean that it was possible for Eva to commit murder. Ma non serve neanche lo dice Butler. Eva, ormai siamo di casa qua. Devil's proof. Devil's proof. Decline explanation. It's a devil's proof. You can't refute the existence of an unknown murder technique of an unknown weapon just because it's impossible to explain. In short, even if I can explain how the stake shooting device is constructed, that doesn't disprove its existence. What is that? Is that madness allowed? Devil's proof valid. Agreed. Devil's proof valid. Butler-kun can claim that a stake shooting device exists without bearing the responsibility of explaining how it is constructed. The witch side cannot object to this move. Not that bad. How pushy. Well, there's this ill-natured witch who trained me well. This is check. Got it. Try singing in red that Auntie Eva didn't take a step outside of that room. That's right, there's no way you'll be able to say it. If you can't say it, it's over. Checkmate! That's so irrational. This is messed up. Those are the rules of the game. How about some black tea first? We also have some delicious cookies, you know? I don't need any of that. Oh, that pisses me off. So you fight like a coward just because you can't win with magic. No, don't get irritated. Drink some black tea or something. I'll take mine straight. What about you, Beato? I'm fine. More importantly, Butler, don't let your guard down. Your opponent is merely unfamiliar with the rules. It will start in earnest once your opponent gets the feel of it. But I'll crush her. I'll thoroughly crush her. That's because she isn't a witch. If I accept her as a witch, all of your stubbornness counts for nothing. I don't care what kind of irrational argument or twisted logic I have to use. I'll crush her with all of my heart and soul. Butler sighed and struck with the Eva culprit theory to explain Kraus and Natsui, the 7th and 8th Twilights, in the exact same way. At the same time, there had been no one on the first floor of the guest house except for Eva and the victims. As before, no one could establish an alibi for Eva. At that time, Eva had claimed that they had disappeared while she was in the lavatory, but nothing supported that, and the witch's side couldn't repeat that in red either. With the same arguments as she used to ask about the construction of the shooting machine, the witch side asked once more how Eva could have strangled both of them at the same time all by herself. But of course Butler splendidly counterattacked by refusing to explain because of the devil's proof. Under the storm and stress of Butler's spirit, the witch's side was completely swallowed up, and was forced to resign 3 times during the short period of time she had to grasp the rules. Madonna, Butler, potentissimo. I see. I'm finally starting to get the knack of it. I won't let things go the way you want them anymore. This time, let me take the initiative. Ronove, reconstruct the 4th through the 6th Twilights. Pick out Ushiromi Kirie. For now, let me return to the murder of Rudolf Kirien and Hideyoshi for the 4th through 6th Twilights. What is she thinking? Why should she return once more to a bored state that she already resigned from? I see. This is a rare attack which you do not use. Be careful. At the time, the survivors were barricaded in the guest house. They didn't have food, but out of concern for their safety, they were at least prepared to go without eating until the next day. However, in the end, 3 of them went out for food. That's right. In the end, 3 people went outside to get food. I'll add it some red as I speak, cause it'll be a pain otherwise. Kirie didn't think that they needed food, since going without food for about a day wouldn't kill them. She claimed that they should not leave the guest house, and yet she herself suggested that they leave the guest house to get food. Isn't this a contradiction? Yes, a spectacular contradiction. It contradicts Kirie's pattern of behavior. That contradiction was created by me using magic. In other words, I controlled Kirie using magic and made her say that to lure the sacrifices outside. Salve, Mortius. Ridiculous. There's no way that kind of magic exists. It's a devil's proof, though. Just because you don't know about that magic doesn't disprove its existence. And I don't bear the responsibility of acting out that magic for you. And yet, you still have no room to counter this argument. I wonder if it's alright to fight this way. Yes, it is truly a spectacular move. Butler-sama, your response, if you please. You sure have brought in a weird argument. Round up by me again. She made a play against Ushiromiya Kirie's patterns of behavior. As she already had been explained, Kirie's pattern of behaving had her saying that they should not go outside and head to the mansion in order to get food. Yet, even so, she took the initiative and took the contradictory action of suggesting going to get food. As long as you cannot explain this contradiction, this violent move claims that it was due to the magic. Well, Kirie-san probably thought that too in the beginning, but she probably thought about various things midway, and she had a change of heart, deciding that food really was necessary. It would be a problem if, due to hunger, we had no energy when we most needed it, and, well, she is claiming that this change of heart is due to magic. In short, but it might be extremely difficult, you must explain the reason for Kirie's change of heart. What? But that's asking me what was inside Kirie-san's own head. Can't I also summon Kirie-san's ghost and question her or something? Beato, can't you call Kirie-san here or something? She cannot. That is a move permitted only to the witch's side. Sorry. Ah, damn it! She was probably thinking of us kids, and on the whole thought that food really was necessary, and you must make that claim objectively. You require tangible evidence of the specific reason for which Kirie changed her mind and decided that food really was necessary. For example, if someone heard her say that, or if it was written down somewhere. Too bad. No reason for her changing her mind was ever told to anyone, nor was one ever written down. Therefore, you can only speculate as to what was inside Kirie's mind. So it's impossible to prove. You don't have a single counter to my move. It's your turn to resign now, Butler-kun. It is possible to hypothesize endlessly as to the reason behind their change of heart, and it is impossible to crush all of those endless possibilities. A detestably spectacular move. If Butler-san were to have a method of countering, it could probably only be that move. And what move is that? Well, now, I wonder what kind of move it could be. I had the feeling that it was Milady's specialty, but I cannot remember. Quit being stingy and tell me! Beatrice, there is no answer that will be given to those who stop thinking themselves. Think it in your own way. Why don't you resign right now? I'll corner you with even more with red. Until the last instant before she died, Kirie maintained her pattern of behavior, which states, I won't go to the mansion to get food. And yet, she took the initiative and headed for the mansion. She was pushing a cart, trying to carry food. Why that contradiction? Because I control her with magic. This is the proof that my magic exists, and that I am a witch. Shut your damn mouth! Are you saying that she never ever changed her mind? The whole time until she died, Kirie-san thought, we don't need food, and I won't go to the mansion. Then why did she step forward herself and say that they should go to get food and go to the mansion? Are you saying that Kirie-san was being controlled with magic? That's stupid. How am I meant to break through this magic? If only Kirie-san were here and just told us the reason behind the change of heart. Butler, io ti riporterei alla mente una tecnica che è come posso dire, la mossa preferita di Kirie in questo momento. Fai un flip the chessboard e prova a pensare a quello che stava pensando Kirie. Gli sto parlando come se potesse sentirmi, però capite, ha senso, no, questo consiglio, non pensate? No, I've already been told in red that she never even changed her mind. What should I do? There's no move that a human side can counter with. The more I learn about this game, the more advantageous the rule seems for the witch, don't they? Even if the witch loses in a lot of areas, if she can win in just one, with that alone she can flaunt her existence. In other words, Buttercoon, you have no way of denying witches other than a complete victory. You called me Eva all those times and seemed to be under the impression that you've been cornering me. But it's all been turned over by nothing more than the inside of your respected Kirie-san's head. Don't you think that's truly funny? Just do it. Resign. Why don't you just accept it forever? Why don't you just lose forever? Kirie non reputava che il cibo fosse necessario, ma forse ha voluto andare a prenderlo comunque insieme a Rudolph e Hideyoshi semplicemente per mandarlo a scoperto del colpevole. È una mossa che potrebbe fare Butler adesso, perché lei ha sempre specificato in rosso che non voleva andare per prendere il cibo. Butler, forza, prendila, aggrappati a sta cosa. It's impossible for a human to show. I can't do anything but guess what the dead were thinking when they acted. Furthermore, I can't deny magic just by conjecture. To break through magic, I need objective evidence as to why Kirie-san had a change of heart. But damn it, it's been said in red that no evidence exists as to why she started wanting food. What should I do? Damn it, damn it! Butler-sama, may I take that you resign? I won't go to the mansion to get food. But how should I understand Kirie-san's thoughts, which actually do contradict? You can't understand. It's impossible to understand and impossible to interpret. That darkness is all of the witch. Come on, it's useless to think so quick, alright? There's no way you can deny witches. I mean, look at me. I exist. I am the Golden Witch. I stole that name from the former witch over there. And you can't deny that I am Beatrice. Damn it! You have no right to say that name. And yet, I can't think of a move to deny that. Butler could no longer counter this witch who was laughing derisively in triumph. He didn't want to give up, but he could do nothing. He ground his teeth, making fists with both hands, but even so, he couldn't think of a brilliant counterattack. Butler-sama, you are closing in on the time limit. Will you resign? The human side has no move in response. We will Wait! There is a counterattack. What? What did you say? What kind of move could you possibly have, predecessor-sama? Care to tell me what kind of move can deny my magic? The magic of Beatrice? You can! It's impossible! If the proposition is, I won't go to the mansion to get food, cannot be explained by itself, I will explain it with the contrapositive. Ah, Hempel's Raven! In short, you may also be able to explain it with, she did not go to the mansion, therefore there was a goal ordered she did go to the mansion, therefore there was another goal other than food. Rather than my specialty, Empel's Raven, this is Butler's specialty, chessboard thinking. It is impossible for Kirie to have gone to the mansion with food as a goal. We can only explain it with another goal which caused Kirie to go outside in any case. In other words, if we can establish that goal, we can defeat magic. I see. She didn't go to the mansion with food as a goal, but she had a different goal. And said that she wanted to go and get food in order to disguise a real goal. Yeah, if that's the case, it may still be possible to explain it. But how? Master, reconstruct the scene where Kirie died. We cannot summon ghosts. We cannot summon a ghost, but inspecting the corpse should be the human sides, right? Yeah, that poses no problems. I will reconstruct the scene where Ushiromi Kirie died. We cannot call Kirie's ghost here, but by learning what Kirie left behind, we may be able to use that as a weapon. Fine, search as much as you want. There's no way you'll learn anything. I just said in red a short while ago. Kirie did not leave anything written down. No matter what you find, how could you understand anything? Chrono! We may find nothing, but Butler is grinding his teeth, fighting to think of a move to break through you. This is all I can do. Beato landed on her feet in the reconstructed hall, approaching Kirie's fallen body and wandered around observing. I don't quite understand the process of how the human side fights. Evidence was required, was it? Then what should I search for? The purported great lady Beatrice is getting down on her knees and crawling around. And she's even disgracefully searching a corpse. How that look suits you. Say what you wish. I cannot do any more than this. I do not care how I am mocked. However, I cannot abandon Butler, as he's fighting for my honor. Even if I must crawl on the ground and search through dead flesh, I must answer to that responsibly. To that responsibility. While being subjected to the witch's sneers, Beato searched through Kirie-san's corpse. She fished through the pockets, taking out what was inside and laying it on the floor. Laid on the floor was a handkerchief, tissue, and a key to her house, the stub of a plane ticket, lighter, cigarette butt, and a single 100-yen coin. There was no special suspicious object, although Beato was down on all fours and being sneered at, that was all she could find. What's with that wretched-looking trash? Come on then, how are you going to break through my magic with that stuff? Worthless, you look so dumb. What's with the state of affairs after you butted in sounded all heroic? Oh, how pathetic, how embarrassing. Why don't you just give up and die forever? The witch fell over laughing, taunting Beato. Beato hung her head, trying to withstand this shame. Milady, are you satisfied with your inspection? I will not find any more than this. From this evidence, can some move be made to counter? If not, then the human side must resign. Obviously, you don't have any room to argue back. I am a witch. You can't break through my magic. You are no longer anything but a former witch. Just a loser who isn't even allowed to take the name Beatrice anymore. Go on, pile up as much trash and rubbish as you like, and try to break my magic with it. You can't, right? You can't, can you? And why is that? It's because I'm a witch, and because you are just a loser without a name. Something should be here. I won't lose heart. I will not lose heart. No matter how much I am near death. Butler is fighting for my honor. For the sake of his honor, I must not lose heart. As Beato held back tears at the words of humiliation she was being showered with, in the hopes that Kyrie was holding something else, in the hope that she could find something that could save Butler from his plight, she searched earnestly. However, nothing more came up. Damn it all. Please, Shiromiya Kyrie, I know you will save your son from his plight. Please, even after death, lend me power for his sake. However, Kyrie's son's body did not answer. It was only natural that a corpse would remain silent. No dead person existed that would answer Beato, now that she had lost the endless magic. It's impossible. Pointless. Toying with the dead is privilege only for witches. For you, who is neither a witch nor even a human, no one exists who will lend a hand. You will be alone for all eternity. You have no witches or human allies, and no one will save you. If that frustrates you, why don't you just cry forever? Why don't you apologize? Say, I'm sorry, I'm so useless, forever. Sorry, Butler. I couldn't help you in any way. No. You've done enough. Thanks, Beato. I won't waste your efforts. I don't need consoling. Just how could you argue back with all this pile of rubbish? Just how could you strike back with this rubbish I endured as nearing to scrape together? In front of Beato, who was still crawling on all fours and hitting the pile of objects Kyrie had left behind with her fist, Butler also crouched, and, after patting her on the shoulder in thanks, he moved that hand to the ground, picked up a cigarette butt, and held it up over his head. What are you trying to say with that trash? Kyrie-san doesn't smoke. But Kyrie was holding a lighter. Certainly she wasn't carrying a box of cigarettes itself, but at a glance it very naturally looked as though Kyrie had a smoking habit. Dad smoked, but Kyrie-san didn't. But she did walk around with just a lighter to light that cigarettes. Huh? So what? If the husband smoked, then even if the wife didn't, it isn't strange for her to have a cigarette on her. Maybe she just picked up her husband's irresponsibly tossed cigarette butt. What are you trying to say? Why does this have to do with my magic? Nothing at all. I'll say more. This is a different brand of cigarette than my dad smokes. Sorry, Beato. Could you look in the pockets of Dad's body too? This? Checking the brand. The brand is different from the cigarette butt. The cigarette butt Kirie had on her is not the same brand as the cigarette that Rudolph smokes. And so what? Maybe Kirie is just a good girl who likes things to be clean, so she couldn't leave a fallen cigarette butt alone and picked it up. I wouldn't, though. Eva Beatrice per la distruzione dell'ambiente. Beato, sorry, but one more time, please. Uncle Hideyoshi's pockets. In this family, only Dad and Uncle Hideyoshi smoke cigarettes. Huh? It's here! Is this it? Beato found a cigarette box in Hideyoshi's pocket, took out a single one and held it out. Checking the brand. We acknowledge that the cigarette butt is of the same brand that Hideyoshi smokes. Like I said, so what? How can you break my magic because you found Hideyoshi's cigarette butt in Kirie's pocket? That's right. This cigarette butt is our message from Kirie-san. No. This cigarette butt itself is the reason that Kirie-san left the guest house. Beato, thank you. If you hadn't found this, I would have given up here. Virgilia, reconstruct the situation. The guest house after it came to light that Auntie Rosa and Maria had been killed on the second twilight. Understood. Reconstructing. After Rosa and Maria's death, the remaining survivors rechecked all of the doors and windows in the mansion. They constructed a barricade. They rechecked that all of their defenses were solid. There's nothing suspicious about that at all. What are you trying to say? Why are you bringing back the second twilight when we are talking about the fourth twilight and after? Dad carried a portable cigarette butt holder with him. I can finally see why Kirie-san deliberately put the cigarette butt in her other pocket. It was because the cigarette butt meant something. That very cigarette butt was a message left by Kirie-san for us. Well, let's hear it then. How, using a single cigarette butt, are you going to deny me? As you've just heard, after the second twilight, an inspection was done for all the rooms in the guest house. After that time, Kirie-san found something that shouldn't exist in a place where it shouldn't be. Something that shouldn't exist? What do you mean by that? It's this cigarette butt. This has been set in an ashtray of the guest room where Uncle Hideyoshi has been. Huh? What's wrong with that being what's wrong with there being a cigarette butt in the ashtray? Are you sure there isn't something wrong with your head? Aunt Eva hated smoking. There's no way that there would be a cigarette butt there when she was sick and sleeping. However, there was a cigarette butt in the ashtray. When she saw that, Kirie-san realized immediately Uncle Hideyoshi was lying. She realized that Aunt Eva hadn't really been sleeping, and that she snuck out of her room. Repetition requested. This cigarette butt was stubbed out in the ashtray of the room in which Uncle Hideyoshi and Aunt Eva were resting. I refuse. I finally got it. Thank you, Beato. Was I of some use? Yeah, you were. We'll tear it off. We'll tear it off. We'll tear the mask off of this fake witch. Tra l'altro, gente, non vorrei dire, ma era nella prima parte di episodio 3, quando loro stavano arrivando con la nave. C'era stata messa parecchia enfasi sul fatto che Eva odiasse il fumo. E quindi noi avevamo tutte quante i tasselli per arrivare a questa conclusione insieme a Kirie. From the cigarette butt, Kirie realized that Hideyoshi was creating an alibi for Eva's sake. Hideyoshi had been tasked with watching over the room to create an alibi, and during that time had been unable to withstand the tension and had smoked. Then Kirie had disclosed that to Rudolph. She disclosed that there was a chance that Eva was the culprit and Hideyoshi was an accomplice. Next, Kirie-san proposed that they go to get food, and then she asked Uncle Hideyoshi to lend a hand. This could only mean one thing. Kirie-san planned to isolate Uncle Hideyoshi and question him about the truth. Hempel's raven? Valid. Unless the witch's side can counterattack this move, the existence of magic which claims to have controlled Kirie is denied. What did you say? I deny it. Anyway, I deny it. It wasn't me, no. Wait, it wasn't Ushiromi Eva. Eva was sleeping in the room. Then try saying it. You can't, and I know it. You can't say it this time either. Repetition requested. At that time, Ushiromi Eva did not take a step outside the room. What the hell is this? I'm the one who was attacking, right? Why did it get on the side that's being attacked? When did this offense and defense get reversed? I'm the one doing the questioning, you know? The witch, me! I repeat, repetition requested. Ushiromi Eva did not leave the room. There's no way you can say it. Checkmate! Does the witch side have a move in response? There cannot be one. There is no truth that can be accepted from a false witch dressed up with truths and falsehoods. You aren't qualified to call yourself a real witch. You aren't the Golden Witch. You are a human. You are Ushiromi Eva! The witch roared. Her entire body was burned with a tremendous heat that denied her own witchcraft and existence, and she let out a roar like a dragon. Her body flickered repeatedly, flashing as Eva's figure and the witch's figure overlapped. However, the roar drowned out that flicker and made it return once more to the original form of the cruel-hearted witch. Alright. If you want to call me Ushiromi Eva, then go right ahead. I admit it, I really can't repulse all moves related to Ushiromi Eva being the culprit. I may have been dragged down from the position of Golden Witch, and maybe I am now being called Ushiromi Eva. But you know what? That by itself doesn't mean that witches and magic are denied. I'll teach you now. I'll teach you that I am not Ushiromi Eva, nor a human, but a real witch. Look and see this red truth. The witch clapped her hands, and time advanced in the world of the game board. As they called Jessica's name, Butler and Eva ran up to the parlor. They were searching for Jessica because they had gone to the servant room, found Nanjo's corpse, and didn't know where Jessica was.
それが
So, what's your
どう
point?
したってんだ。何が言いたい。
What are you trying to say? It couldn't be. Oh no! Beato went pale. That made it clear that the move the evil witch was about to make was bad enough to have such an effect on Beato.
今度こそ
This time,
言い逃れのできる
I'll
致命
give
的
you a
な一手を
fatal move that you won't be able to talk yourself out of. No, I'll make this move against all humans who support you.
心して聞きなさい
Prepare yourself and listen to my move. Gente, io, dalla parte delle streghe, adesso vi faccio una sfida. Cercate di rispondere. Mettetevi nei panni di Butler, come abbiamo sempre fatto, e cercate di sopravvivere. Perché quello che sta per fare Eva Beatrice è un massacro. È una ragnatela da cui non si può uscire.
やめよ
No, don't!
その一手は
That move is...
ベアト、下がれ。
Beato, stay back!
俺は受けるぞ。
I'll take it! Bring it on, you fake witch! After Jessica was injured, Eva was constantly under Butler's supervision. Butler is neither the culprit nor an accomplice. By this, we can establish a perfect alibi for Eva. I'll seal you, and humans as well, in a red barrier of death that most certainly cannot be escaped from. Farewell, lonely humans. Sleep for all eternity in an absolute locked room of magic with no exits. Now, prepare yourself for the red truth. There are no more than 18 humans on this island. Throw away your foolish thoughts of mysterious people hiding and committing crimes. But if I say it this way, you could also suspect animal culprits. It would be unbearable to hear an irrational theory about how our orangutan trained to commit murder wouldn't count as a human. So I'll change it like this. No life forms other than humans have any connection to this game. So, with that covered, next, I explain the situation for all 18 people who exist on this island. Kinzo is dead. Kraus is dead. Natsui is dead. Hideyoshi is dead. George is dead. Rudolph is dead. Kirie is dead. Rosa is dead. Maria is dead. Genji is dead. Shannon is dead. Kanon is dead. Goda is dead. Kumasawa is dead. Nanjo is dead. Those 15 are all dead. And Butler is alive. Eva is alive. Jessica is alive. That's everyone, all 18 of them. So you understand that, according when the last victim, Nanjo, died, only 3 people, Butler, Eva, and Jessica were alive, right? What did you say? You bitch, you couldn't mean... Eva was with you the whole time, so committing a crime was impossible for her. Of course, Butler isn't the culprit. He was forging an alibi for her, and he took the responsibility that she was the culprit into account, watching over her action carefully. No chance existed for her to do anything suspicious. In short, at the time of the crime, only Nanjo and Jessica were in the servant room. And I know what you're thinking. Your next move will be like this, right? Also, there's a chance that Jessica is the culprit. But too bad, I'll slice it up in red before you try. Ushiromiya Jessica has not committed murder. She was not involved with Nanjo's murder. Her eyes were completely blocked. It's impossible for her to carry out a murder like that. And here's a little extra. Neither Eva nor Butler killed Nanjo, nor were they involved. Oh, wait a fucking second! That makes no goddamn sense. There are only 3 humans, then a murder occurs, and none of the 3 were involved? That's insane! As stated clearly, the culprit who killed Nanjo was neither Butler nor Eva nor Jessica. In other words, he wasn't one of the survivors. Get it? No. Well, that's right! What about multiple personalities? Just like you were originally another personality of Auntie's Eva, let's say that Jessica had and another witch-like personality, which took the name of someone other than Jessica and killed Nanjo. Moron. I've already said it in red. Jessica's eyes were completely blocked, and murder was impossible for her. No matter what kind of personality she was possessed by, murder could not be carried out with her body. I wonder if you'll be satisfied if I say it this way. No actions caused by Jessica's body had any relation to or influence on the murder of Nanjo. This also applies to Butler and Eva. In other words, no matter how much you try and struggle to interpret it, neither Jessica nor Butler nor Eva is the culprit who killed Nanjo. You've got to be kidding me! I mean, everyone else is dead for sure, right? And all of this left is that Dr. Nanjo's suicide theory. And the trap theory. The culprit was already dead, but a trap they had already prepared went off. Nanjo's death was a homicide. Of course, it was with a direct method of murder, not a trap. They readied their weapon and killed him directly from the front at point-blank range. The culprit appeared openly before Nanjo's eyes, and as they both looked at each other's face, the culprit killed him. But wait! There are only 3 survivors! You said that in red that everyone else is dead. You basically confirmed that the life and death status of all 18 people. Furthermore, the existence of a 90th person had already been denied in red. In other words, no one can exist except the 3 survivors. And yet, a 4th person other than those 3 trapped appeared before Nanjo. How can a person other than us appear and murder Nanjo when no 90th person exists? Insane. You are lying. You are lying with red letters. The red only tells the truth. Isn't doubting that the same as betraying the honor of that which was behind you, shriveling up in fear of me and hiding behind your back? Damn it! I'll state it clearly. Right now, the one who appeared in front of Nanjo was me, a witch. The Golden Witch, who can't be explained by the 18 people. Well, 18 humans. Virgilia, run over. Isn't the situation contradicting itself? Is she really telling the truth with red? Yes, red truth, valid. What an elaborate and precise cornering. How should I make a move against this? Virgilia, isn't there any move? I cannot think of anything. And you, Robe!
申し訳ありません
My apologies.
しかしこの世
However, in this last 1000 years, I have never seen such an elaborately beautiful game board layout.
悔しいですが
Although it pains me to admit it, it is beautiful.
なんて
What a beautiful red
チェック
checkmate. The witch's master and the demon butler were both stunned, and a somehow rapturous expression rose to their faces. Forget surrendering. They were simply impressed at this perfect checkmate, which could only be admired. When people accept defeat from the bottom of their hearts, it gives rise to neither regret nor humiliation. Nothing is born except feelings of respect. I no longer knew what was what anymore. There were absolutely no weak points in her red. She said in red that all 15 people had died, and had said in red that no people existed other than the 18. In other words, no more than 3 people, me, Jessica, and Auntie Eva, existed. And even though none of those 3 people were the culprit, Dr. Nanjo was killed. And without a doubt, Dr. Nanjo's death was a homicide, murdered by that person openly from the front. And she claims that person is a witch?
南條を殺
The
した
culprit that killed Dr. Nanjo was not an animal or anything of the sort. That has already been dealt with in red, you know? Remove everything other than humans from consideration entirely. And no stuff like robots either. Absolutely no factors other than humans participate in this game bird. Therefore, I can also say this. The one who killed Nanjo was definitely a human. A human with their feet on the ground, held up a weapon and killed with it. Right before his eyes. However, the human may have also been able to use magic, which means it was a witch. That in other words is me. The Golden Witch, Beatrice. Even as Butler ground his teeth, his knees hit the floor with a thunk. His soul still refused to submit. However, his knees had already started to accept submission. Oh, did you kneel? That's right, because you're already starting to understand that the Golden Witch does exist, and that the Golden Witch Beatrice is me. Come on, praise me. Now it is the time to praise the resurrection of the true witch. Now is the time to praise the resurrection of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. On the 9th twilight, the witch is revived, and none shall be left alive. Damn it! I don't understand. After being so thoroughly immobilized by Red, I don't have a clue anymore. Butler. Don't lose heart. You and I promised that we would fight each other again, did we not? Will you surrender here? Will you disappear in a place like this before fighting with me again? I don't want to break that promise, but I can't think of any more to deny her. In this place, this isn't even a proper problem. Nothing exists outside the suspects, and all of the suspects are innocent. I've been told that they're innocent in red, and also that it was a real homicide, and that the culprit was human, and that they did appear in front of Dr. Nanjo's eyes and kill him. I give up. There's nothing I can do. Please, Butler, don't give up. Don't lose heart. If you stop thinking, it automatically becomes your loss. I'm begging you, don't lose heart. I'm also cheering you on. So don't lose. I can't think of anything anymore. I ended up thinking that she's just a witch anyway, and I must have done it with magic, so just thinking is pointless. It's no good, my head hurts, my brain's tired. I end up thinking that thinking is pointless, so I should just stop. Butler, listen. In the game of chess, both sides do all they can to make the other lose. So a single game takes a long period of time. However, if one side throws away victory from the beginning and voluntarily makes moves harmful to themselves, the game will end in a blink of an eye. That's called a fool's mate. A fool's mate is, simply put, a strange way of playing chess with the mind to lose as soon as possible, opening the area in front of your king and inviting the opponent queen in. Chess, in which the average playing time for a single game may stretch for several hours, can be resolved in a scant 4 moves. In other words, if both sides try to win in a fight, they are compelled to take a painfully long period of time, but if one side decides to lose, they can end the game all too early at any time. When the human side stops thinking, it hands the problem before its eyes over to the witch, and even an apple falling from a tree can be immediately resolved as the work of magic. And it is the same way for the witch's side. Witches use the red truth. If they can use that to show that the true form of magic can be explained away using humans, they can immediately lose. You don't have to tell me that. You're telling me not to stop thinking, right? But how am I meant to counterattack her perfectly bright red move? For me, for humans, it is no longer possible. Is it impossible? Is it impossible for you, Butler? Please, don't lose heart. I'm sorry. It's no longer possible for me. Butler scratched at the floor, crying heavily. Beato watched that with a distressed face. Then she stood up and spoke to the witch. I will make a move as a counterattack to yours. How can you possibly cut up this perfect checkmate? How can this checkmate, which is completely impossible for humans to break, possibly be broken by the likes of you? Beatrice, you couldn't be... What about a move that a human cannot make? I will counterattack with a move I can use because I am a witch. A move that you can use because you are a witch? What are you planning to do? Calmo. I will use the red to deny witches. Beatrice! Milady! The master and the butler were both startled. I also immediately understood what it meant. To use the red that only witches could use. To use the red to deny witches. It was like using your own sword to slit her own throat. What? Come on, what are you saying? Deny witches with red. Don't talk like an idiot. If you do that, you won't get away unscathed either. You are not a witch. And I'm not a real witch either. The road to becoming a true witch is difficult and I have much, much farther to go.
なれば好都合
Then, what is convenient? Then that is convenient.
もと
In
より
this
魔女など
place
存
now,
在はしない
witches did not exist from the beginning.
わらわが自ら
I will strip this deception away myself.
私もあんたも
You and I are both real, obvious witches.
赤が使えることこそ
Being able to use red is itself proof that we are.
あんたにとって
I don't know what the definition of a witch is to you, but if you're mistakenly thinking that you alone will be able to get away unscathed, you'd better...
勘違いなどして
I am making no such mistake.
それでよい
I would accept it.
ですって
What did you say?
わらわがもとよ
I never managed to become a witch in the first place.
り真の魔女になる
I have done nothing more than finally beginning to walk on the road to becoming a true witch. If it is true that I am a witch as I stand, then I am nothing more than a false witch who got addicted to power like you. Rather than existing in this shabby form,
未練などない
I would have no
そ
regrets
なたもろと
in
も
erasing this form of
我らは
mine
この姿
and along
消
with
し去
you.
ってくれようぞ
Are you insane? Stop it!
私はまだ魔女
I still want to be a witch! I don't want to be human!
魔女様
Witch, please return to your
人
seat.
間側の受け手を
Please receive the human side response from your seat. What are you doing? Let go of me! Don't let that woman use red! Make her stop! Let go! As the witch stood from her seat and tried to spring upon Beato, Ronove pressed down on both of her shoulders, forcing her back into her seat. And even after that, he didn't remove his hands from those shoulders. Denying which was the same thing as denying magic. That included demons such as Ronove. However, instead of running away, Ronove chose to act as the facilitator for the game, and to carry out that duty for his master's sake.
ベアトリーチェ
Beatrice,
後悔はない
you
のです
have no regrets, I hope.
お師匠様こ
The same to you.
そごめん
Sorry.
いっぱい楽しい
Even though you taught me a lot of fun magic and happy spells, I couldn't use it well at all.
だから
So I'll train from zero
してくる
and start over again.
そのバカ弟子の
I'm
始末
truly sorry that you had to get caught up in your stupid disciples' misconduct.
良き弟子よ最後にモテました
I had a good disciple in the very
あ
end.
なたの信じるまま
Go and do as you believe.
お前らが何の話をしてる
I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about,
だがこれだけは分かる
but I do understand one
そして
thing,
言える
and I can say this. Beato, I don't know what you're trying to do, but whatever it is that you're about to do, don't do it.
そなたに手はない
You have no moves, but I have one.
この一手
If we let this move escape us, she will be revived as a witch in her true sense, and this time she will control this whole island. All nightmares will be hers to do as she pleases, and this island will fall into the deepest hell of the evil witch constant fantasies for all eternity. Can you permit that? Is it alright for your dear relatives to be toyed with for all eternity in that witch's nightmare?
だが
Still, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself.
これは
This is a game between me and her.
お前が身を犠牲に
There's no need for you to sacrifice yourself to make a move. I'll think of something.
改正の一手
I'll definitely think of a miracle move.
だから早まる
So don't rush into it. Ah, damn it to hell.
絶対に思いつく
I'll definitely think of one. Oh, don't rush into it.
早まるんじゃね
This game is
すで
cruel.
にそなたの情報
A time limit for your deliberation has already run out. I am now the only one who can do it.
安心せよ
Worry not, Butler.
わらわが撃つ
I'll defeat her.
あの残酷な
I'll defeat the cruel-hearted witch with my own hands.
待てベアト
Wait, Beato!
やめろよせ
Stop it! Quit it!
自分を犠牲にする
There's absolutely no need for you to sacrifice yourself.
わらわを否定するために
Last I remember, you were fighting to deny me.
なやつだ
What a strange person.
あの子の好きにさせてあげてください。
Let that child do as she
そしてどう
likes.
か
And please,
見届
see
けて
her
やって
through.
く
But,
バトラー
Butler,
一つだけ
there's one thing
頼みが
I want to ask.
耳を
Would you cover your ears?
耳を
My
どうし
ears?
て
Why?
わらわはこ
In
れ
a few moments, I will deny witches in red.
あやつの
I will slice up the game board
切り裂い
that
て
was laid out with her red.
さすれば
By doing
わらわ
that,
もま
I will probably lose my form as a witch as
た
well.
そなたもわらわが
If you also hear the red truth I will tell you, you will understand my true form.
そなた一人が
Even if you alone cover your ears, the truth will not change at all. But even if you alone cover your ears, the truth will not change at all. However, even so, I want you alone to cover your ears.
そうなった
I at least want to be a witch in your eyes.
頼み
Please.
ベアトリーチェ様
Beatrice
魔女
sama.
は問題あ
There
り
is no problem on the witch's side.
さして
Please, your move.
あんたもただじゃ済まないのよ。
Let go! You won't get away unharmed either, you know.
あいつおかしいわ。
She's insane. She plans on dying and taking us with her. Stop it. Don't deny it.
やめて。
仮にも黄金
How
の魔女が見苦し
unsightly
い
for a golden witch.
さあ良いか
Now, are you ready?
バトルの代わり
I will remove your checkmates in Butler's stead.
15人が
What happened on the chessboard where 15 died and only 3 remained?
わらわが
I will now expose it in red.
その赤き真実
With that red truth, I will impale and kill both fake witches. Beato turned around and smiled at Butler. Most likely, no one would believe that a witch who had gone to the limits of cruelty would try and leave a smile as the last expression she showed Butler. And that smile signified her last wish, that she wanted him to cover his ears. Denying witches in red was the same as acknowledging her shabby form. Butler put both of his hands against his ears to protect her final honor as a witch. He put his hands against his ears, rejecting the truth. And he howled, so that even a bit of what she was saying would slip into his ears. No, so that... Aspetta. So that not even a bit of what she was saying would slip into his ears. After that was a world where Butler could not hear anything. Beato was saying something in red. Even the evil witch attempted to cover her ears at the bitter contents. That was the red truth. Words of power. Words that denied their own existence. Words that only witches could use. The only words capable of denying witches. Beato talked. With the red truth, she sliced apart the bright red game board that the witch had released. She explained difficult problems that could only be solved by humans with moves that could only be solved by witches, and began cornering the witch. The truth the Butler was not permitted to hear. If Butler had broken his promise and sneakily listened in an instant Butler would probably have been able to become the victor in his game with Beato. He would probably have understood all of the riddles of the island, all of the magic and tricks, locked rooms, spells, curses, legends, and the entire tale of anger and sadness. However, Butler would only learn what that was when he reached the truth by himself. Yes, from the beginning, Beatrice had wished that Butler would reach the truth by himself. It was something that shouldn't be reached by being told. It was a truth that Butler would have to drag himself to his own power. A brilliant light gathered with Beato and the evil witch at the center and grew gradually stronger. It was the power of truth. A heat and brilliance like the sun, shone of all of the falsehoods that hid in the darkness, trying to deceive, and burned them to nothing. How can you die? How can you throw away your life when you have such incredible power? You hold the power to control gold, magic, and everything else at will. How can you so readily throw that away? Learn that even with a mountain of gold, even with the magic to split the sea, there are some things that you can never obtain. Come, show yourself. Show your true form. When the sun exploded and blew everything away, Eva could be seen there, holding a gun. You are the culprit. Aunt Eva! Took you long enough to notice, Butler-kun. Without any hesitation or mercy, Eva raised the gun and pulled the trigger. An explosion resounded and Butler fell to the floor, his heart shot through. After going into convulsion for a short time, with blood dripping from his mouth, Butler died. But in his last moments, he understood without a doubt that she was a murderer. And not just for killing him. Aspetta, Jover. Non è la colpevole dell'omicidio di Nangio. Era circoscritto tutto a Nangio. Tutta quella parte della ragnatela di Eva Beatrice era nell'omicidio di Nangio, non in generale. But in his last moments he understood without a doubt that she was a murderer, and not just for killing him. There are several murders where I don't have a clue how they were carried out. However, while my ears were covered, Beato exposed all of them with the red, blasting away all magic. In other words, even though I didn't understand it, and that being nothing more or less the proof that all magic can be explained with humans, Beato made me cover my ears, so I myself don't know the whole truth. However, from the fact that she managed to deny it in red, I learned one fact which is extremely unfair for us. Namely, it is possible to deny all magic. So in other words, no. I must not think of that. If I do, then the time I covered my ears would be made pointless. If I'm going to regret it, I can only regret my own actions. If at that time I had thought of some turnabout move to counter the witch's final play, there would have been no need for Beato to sacrifice herself. I brought about this conclusion because I was worthless. Even though it was a pitch-black world where nothing could be seen, for some reason I felt Beato's presence, right next to me. So I tried calling out to her. You can exchange words with someone whether they're a human or a witch. So even if a world where witches have been denied, I should be allowed to talk with her.
Beato.
Butler, is it? It is done. I did it. I didn't hear it, but I watched you until the very end. I was watching as you boldly stood up to that evil witch. With this, I am no longer a witch, but I will definitely become a witch again. And I will make it so that I can be called the Golden Witch again. And then, when I'm ready to be accepted as your opponent, I will return once more. No, you were a witch. I was watching when you took that evil witch and blew her away with that awesome magic, exposing her true form. I was watching with my own eyes. That wasn't magic, but the red... No, It was magic.
お前は確かに
You were definitely
黄金の魔女だった
the Golden Witch.
お前自らが否定しよう
Even if you deny it
俺
yourself,
が認めてやるよ
I'll accept
お
it.
前は確かに
You are
黄金
definitely
の魔女だ
The Golden Witch. When Butler said those words, in the world where had been the dark, that had been dark, there was suddenly a single grain, a small grain of gold, like a wheat seed, shone brightly. Even though it was small, it had that strong gold-colored glow. And it illuminated the two of them, sitting with their backs together, so they each became aware of their own form. They did not exist only as consciousness, they became aware that they had bodies and they definitely existed. No, maybe we should say that each other had given an existence called a body. When Butler looked at his own form, he wasn't that surprised, but when Beato looked at her own form, she was a little startled. From Butler's perspective, she just looked normal, but for a short while, she was surprised by that form. What?
どういうこと
What's
なの
going on?
あの光の粒
That glow from that grain of light is getting stronger and stronger. That grain of wheat was no longer simply gold-colored, but it was like a light of the sun. Then it softly began to approach Beato's chest. When the grain of the sun was sucked inside her chest, the world became wrapped in a deep blue sky, and the deep blue ocean spread out below them. The island rose up, trees sprouted and created a forest. Walls surrounded us and a ceiling swallowed us. And it became adorned with more and more things until we realized that it was the Ushiromiya family, the whole of the Ushiromiya family. In that fantastical hall where many gold butterflies beat their wings, many tables were set up with white tablecloths, like it was a party, and beautiful cooking and fruits were set out, and all over there were many great figures. Everyone was there, talking together and smiling.
みんな
Guys, there was Dad and Kiria-san, Uncle Kraus, Aunt Natsui and Auntie Rosa, and of course even Auntie Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. George, Aniki, Jessica, Maria. Wait, even Shannon-chan, Kanon-kun, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were there. Everyone was at the party, clapping their hands and celebrating our return. Why?
みんな死んだ
Everyone was dead.
どうして生きてるんだ
Why are they alive?
黄金鏡では
In the Golden Land, all of the dead people's souls can be
お
revived.
帰りなさい
Welcome back, Beatrice.
そしてよ
And welcome, Butler-kun.
黄金鏡へ
Welcome to the Golden Land. I made it.
黄金鏡
I
への
made it
扉に至ったのか
to the door of the Golden Land.
はい
Yes, milady. You have finally been able to invite everyone to the Golden Land.
ようこそバ
Welcome, Butler-sama,
黄金
to the Golden Land.
バトル
Butler!
ようやくここに
So,
たどり
you have finally made it this far.
小さな
Grandfather, where in the world am I?
お前はわし
My blood,
魔法とは
which is incompatible with magic, runs more deeply in your veins than any other. Therefore, you are the only one who could not reach the Golden Land, and Beatrice has been searching for you ever since.
そなたをここへ
She tried everything to bring you here.
なんだって
What did you say?
これで
It seems that we were at last, all here at last. Butler-sama, if you would take your seat. Tonight's dinner is my very best work. If you would, please relish it. You should be honored. Normally, I would have eaten all of it, but I left you guys some out of pity. The 7 steak babes.
黄金
In the Golden Land, all of those with minds are equal. Here, there is no distinction between furniture, humans, or witches. Butler-sama, we were waiting for you. And welcome to the Golden Land. Shannon-chan, Giorgianiki. I'm so surprised that this might be... I'm still suspecting that this might be a dream. I was sure that we would die, but we're alive. And every one of us is here. And we're all happy. I can't believe it. That's right. This place must be a dream world. So it doesn't matter that George is playing with that matter girl. Better. Oh, routine, okay. That's right. This place must be a dream world. So it doesn't matter that George is friendly with that maid girl. It has to be a dream. Give it a rest, Eva. For now, you gotta stay quiet and blessed at you, young guns. The Golden Land is a capital of bliss. We should never quarrel here. Here, all people are free to love each other. No one needs to hesitate over it. Jessica-chan, Kanon-kun. Oh, so wonderful. I'm so jealous. Hey, Butler. This is kinda... Butler-sama, welcome. And welcome home. Jessica was probably embarrassed because she was holding hands with Kanon-kun, and Kanon-kun wanted to act humbly like a servant and bow, but since neither of them could let go of each other's hand, he couldn't do it so well, and the whole scene looked fairly comical. With that servant child! I forbid it! I couldn't possibly give away our Jessica to such a person. Why not allow it? Let her at least choose the person she likes. I forbid it, I forbid it. Mine is gonna write too. Finalmente hanno trovato una cosa in comune. As Aunt Natsui and Auntie Eva hugged each other, they cried tears of regret for their darling children. Even though they had always been at odds, it was a very bizarre scene. It really isn't a problem, right? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who likes who. Exactly. It's proof that parent hasn't let go of. It's proof the parent hasn't let go of their child. Butler, you can bring home whatever kind of woman you want. I'll accept her warmly, alright? You can't introduce her to this guy, you know? He'll get his hand on her immediately. He'll envelop right away. Picchialo, Kiria. Butler, you finally came here. Maria, from the beginning, you knew that we would be coming here? That's why I wasn't scared at all. Everyone was a fraidy cat. It was funny. What the hell? Even though I thought you were the most screwed up, you actually knew the truth from the beginning. Oh, how rude! It is absolutely unforgivable to speak of Lady Maria in that way. Forming firing curve. Attack preparations ready. Lady Maria, we can attack at any time. Quiet. You are in the presence of Beatrice-sama. Well, there's no need to be quite so strict. For now, let us take their desires to fool around and play together into consideration. More importantly, why don't we begin preparing for the toast? Yes, we have finished preparing my excellent mackerel cooking. I can serve it at any time. Hey ladies, work a little more like furniture. No, I wanna stuff myself some more. Come on, let's work. Don't keep the guests waiting. Let's work studiously and attend to them. Don't let the guests do anything. Make them lazy, make them slothful, fatten them like pigs. Beatrice, Butler-kun, this way. Grandfather and Virgilia were standing on the landing at the top of the staircase, beckoning us. Beato and I looked at each other quizzically and then climbed the stairs together. From the hall, it looked like a very high stage, and a small table had been set up there, as well as a piece of parchment and an old-fashioned quill pen. I saw that strange medical characters in Japanese were written side by side, and below it many names were written. There were 17 of them. Grandfather was the first, and everyone else's name had been signed below in one long column. The people who arrived at the Golden Land probably signed this one after another. Butler, now that you are here, everyone is gathered. Listen carefully. The Golden Land is not a world supported by the power of magic alone. The cooperation and approval of all humans who received happiness here is required. For that sake, we must gather the signatures of everyone here. Last time, the door to the Golden Land was finally open, but you refused to sign. Although you probably don't remember it. Because you refused to sign, this world was once again sealed in darkness. Just hearing it like that kinda sounds like I've been the only stubborn one, and I've been causing everyone all kinds of trouble. That is because you are a certified hardhead. It seems that you inherited more than just blood from Kinzo. Beato laughed amiably. I knew I was being made fun of, but that smile led me to go along with her, and I left without thinking. Magic is a miracle. Miracle cannot be completed unless everyone believes. And when you do, as the last to do so, this miracle, the Golden Land, will be completed. It looks like I've been a real pain. So, what should I do? First, sign here. Then, Beatrice, sign here. It's hard to use a quill pen. You shot! You klutz. Shooting ink is a bad omen. Can't you at least write your name quickly? In that illegible scrawl? And what about you? Don't write it in capitals, in katakana, like that. Beatrice is a stylish name, so write it in cursive. You're making the quill and your name cry. Shut up. Oh, Crono. Già 6 mesi, mamma mia. Grazie mille. Grazie dell'aiuto, grazie della sub. E ben ritornata nel team di ricerca, come si suol dire qui. Shut up! In school they didn't tell you not to use cursive on tests. This is a solemn ceremony. Be silent. Very good. We have gathered the 2 signatures as well as the form for the covenant. Both of you, your oath, please. We'll start with Beatrice. Put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. I, Beatrice, as a good witch, swear to continue my training for the sake of bringing happiness to all people. Say it. Well, it's a little embarrassing. I, Beatrice, as a good witch, swear to continue with my training for the sake of bringing happiness to the people. Is that alright? Good. Butler is next. The same way, Butler. Put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. I, Ushiromiya, Butler, as a member of the Golden Land, swear to serve for the sake of bringing happiness to myself and my neighbor. I, Ushiromiya Butler, as a member of the Golden Land, swear to serve for the sake of bringing happiness to myself and my neighbor. Yeah, I'm embarrassed too. Hear me, one and all. Here and now, we have gathered all the oaths of all the 18 humans who accepted the Golden Land. When Kinzo proclaimed that, everyone applauded at once, praising us. Since I've been the only stubborn one and had just been a nuisance, I felt a little bad being the most celebrated one. And with that one, in accordance with the ancient rites, we asked Butler Kun, the last to make the oath, to sign the invitation to the Golden Land. This is something that invites the Golden Witch Beatrice to the Golden Land. The Golden Land invites the Golden Witch through a consensus of those who have accepted it and becomes complete. Butler, I will read it out loud. Listen carefully. The 18 of us acknowledge that the Golden Witch to be Beatrice and welcome her to the Golden Land. What's going on with you? You won't be invited unless I send an invitation? It seems that is the ceremony. It makes me uncomfortable also. Why don't we end it quickly? I've been so hungry for a while now. Come to think of it, I've only been pecking at canned food and haven't eaten anything good. Let's get this thing signed and be done with it. Let's see here. We accept you as a witch. Huh? That's actually pretty simple. Damn you, grandfather, exaggerating how it actually says it. Come on, quickly. Sign right here. Huh? Quickly. Sign. With slightly weird and uncomfortable smiles, the two of them start and demanded that I sign. At that time, an incredible sound, like the sound of glass window breaking, reverberated through the hall, and the bustling tumult melted back into complete silence. I dropped the quill pen and turned around, trying to see what had happened. When I did, where had she come from? A human who clearly hadn't been there a short while ago was in the very center of the hall, looking at us. Who's that? A woman? She's probably about the same age as Jessica and me. But I didn't know that face. None of the other people here knew that face either. Who are you? Who is this? Where did you come from? Those without invitations are not needed in my party. Servants, throw her out. As you command. Surround her. The 7 sisters of Purgatory surrounded her in 7 directions, taking out magic blades and drew purple trails and blocking her. And from out of nowhere, shuffling goat-head servants appeared in great numbers surrounding that woman. On top of that, the Sister Sisters stood in front of Beato like a wall, readying a golden bow and pulling back the bowstring. But the woman didn't move at all. On the contrary, she was staring at us on the landing, not paying them the slightest bit of attention. Who is she looking at? Beato? Grandfather? It couldn't be. Me? Yes. The woman was staring straight into my eyes, glaring. Then, after our eyes met perfectly, she yelled. You must not sign that! Are you going to accept your own defeat? Don't be tricked by that witch. By the witch? Huh? Just then, something incredibly strong lifted me up by the nape of my neck. What was going on? And after I was forced to turn around, I saw Virgilia with an eerie smile on her face and the muscular forms of goat monsters. A goat monster that looked like 2 meters tall was holding me up like with an arm as thick as a log. Oh, there is no need to listen to uninvited guests. Come, give your signature as well on this written oath. Ushiramiya Butler, accept the existence of wishes. Come now, sign the written oath. Damn it! Let go! As the goat monsters constricted me with the power of a vice, they forced me to grab the quill pen. I couldn't even touch the floor with my feet, much less resist. Butler, why are you resisting? Weren't you just about to sign willingly? Don't change your mind now, after all of that, alright? Don't you think for an instant that it might be alright to accept witches? You thought that, right? I was tricked? That can't be. You aren't that kind of... Sorry, Butler, I am not that kind of person. Oh, it's no good. I can't keep this up. It looks like sentimental sob stories don't match well with me. Master, with all of your strength, if you please. That was such a plain role to play, and I got so bored. I don't know who you are, woman, but I'll beat you to death, mash you and crush you until threads start trailing, got it? I'll make you regret being born a woman. Beato raised her gold pipe high, and that massive chandelier hanging in the hall cracked with electricity, and from that fell an almighty purple thunderbolt. It was a direct hit on the woman right below it, and it should have turned her to ash. However, not a single hair was singed. I see you have what it takes to show up uninvited. Tell me. Say your name. I don't have any name to tell you. More importantly. You idiot! How long are you going to be tricked? Stop being so naive and trusting. Figure it out already. All of this is the witch's trap. Those words were aimed at me. This is all the witch's trap, she says. That can't be. Beato reformed and swore to become a good witch. Beato. Calling it a trap, it's a lie, right? Please tell me it's a lie. Sorry, Butler. It was pretty interesting. Still, I was just trying to do what Master told me, but it really did work out very well. A year after acting soon and exploring the depths of cruelty, if you act properly, incompetent and dare, you can get a massive rise on that goodwill meter thing, right? I heard that villains who go dare and then yan are pretty popular these days. Despite how I look, I've studied a lot of manga, anime and galge. And have been popular recently, you see? I tried it out, and just as expected, it was tier please and you're down. Idiot, what a truly simple person. They call this the North Wind and the Sun strategy. Non ho idea di cosa sia galghe. How could... You two-faced bitch! How dare you deceive me like this? Yes, that expression fits you the most. That caring expressions of yours really doesn't match me after all. My back was itching and I was frantically trying to withstand it. Too bad, witches don't reform. You take care of the signature, master. The uninvited guest is my prey. Come, you can no longer refuse to sign. Now, come on. Sign it and offer your body, your mind, and your soul. When Virgilia lifted her chin as a signal, the goat monsters, with an ever more beast-like power, forced my arm to approach the parchment. Oh, these guys are trying to make me sign, even if it breaks my arm. At that moment, a bright red light burst open at me, with me at the center, knocking the witches and the goat monsters away. Did that woman save me? But who in the world is that? I don't have a clue. How long do you keep playing in a place like this? Enough already. I'm jealous of you. But I'm glad you saved me. Well, that's a pretty cruel way to say it. Sorry, but who are you? Witch of Rokkenjima. It's time to give him back. Who would do that, you fool? Butler is my toy. My favorite toy, the best toy in the world. I won't get tired of him. I won't throw him away. I won't hand him over to anyone. Even Butler is enjoying this to the fullest. Together with me, he's having so much fun playing. No matter who you are, I won't let you interfere. Oh, yeah. It really looks like it really does look like you're living it up here. I'm so jealous, my blood is boiling. In a wonderful place like this, guff-winging, and having a lively, fun, noisy blast of a time with everyone. Surrounded by lots of eye candy witches and being pampered all the time. I'm sure you're having so much fun, you don't even want to try and come back. Are you trying to talk to me? Wait, you've got the wrong idea. This is a pain for me too. The hell is fun about this? You don't know a damn thing about my troubles. What troubles? You get to have fun with mom and dad, and you get to play around happily with all of the cousins. You get to play with pleasant witches as long as you want for all eternity. Why don't you realize the happiness you have? I'm jealous of all of you, don't you get it? I'd love to be a part of this. I'm sorry, but no. I'm satisfied with the toys I have. A rude toy like you is not fitting in my toy box. Yes, I am aware of that. Who would ever play with someone like you? But I will thank you a bit for bringing everyone together like this. Who are you? You can't be. I see. So that's it. Yes, I get who you are. I see. So you are the piece Lady Bercastel threw in. I like it. Why don't I formally invite you to my party? I'll welcome you fully. Along with Butler, I'll play with you nicely, break you, crush you, kill you, turn into an ash, mix you with bread dough, and make you until you're all fluffy. Damede, zenzen dame da wa. You'll never be able to do that.
1986年
Rokkenjima, in the year 1986.
何があったの
I will expose everything that happened then to the light of the day.
あんたなんて
I'll teach you that you are no more than needle eyes, scared of the spring of truth.
覚悟なさい
Prepare yourself, Golden Witch. Beatrice! Beh, Jover. La stavi aspettando? Died on... Uscirà mio butler. Died on the ninth night. Eva Beatrice. Uscirò mia Enge. Uscirò mia Kinzo. Died on the first twilight. Uscirò mia Klaus. Died in the seventh twilight. Uscirò mia Natsui. Died on the eighth twilight. Uscirò mia Jessica. Died on the 10th twilight. Uscirò mia Eva. Returned alive. Uscirò mia Hideyoshi. Died on the 5th twilight. Uscirò mia George. Died on the 9th twilight. Uscirò mia Rudolph. Died on the 4th night. Uscirò mia Kyrie. Died on the 6th twilight. Uscirò mia Rosa. Died on the 2nd twilight. Uscirò mia Maria. Died on the 2nd twilight. Nanjo Terumasa. Died on the 9th twilight. Ronove Genji. Died on the 1st twilight. Shannon. Died on the 1st twilight. Kanon. Died on the 1st twilight. Goda Toshiro. Died on the 1st twilight. Kumasawa Chiyo. Died on the 1st twilight. Virgilia. Ronove. Lucifer. Vabbè, qui ci sono tutte quante le stakes. Leviathan. Satan. Belphegor. Beh, la tua era un'ottima idea, Jover, quella di averla come protagonista del Lancor Arc, però ovviamente non potevo dirti niente. Mammon, Belzebub, Asmodeus, Siesta 410, Siesta 45, All of the Goats, Lambda Delta, Ben Castle. Third game. Banquet of the Golden Witch. Result. And the Golden Land once crumbled away into darkness. However, a winner finally emerged in the Golden Witch's game. The winner is the new witch, Eva Beatrice, because she solved the riddle in the golden time. The 17 all died when the seagull cried. Just one person was left alive. Beh. Abbiamo il tips, character, tutto il resto. È arrivata Enge, Jover. Ok, questo tea party dovrebbe essere molto breve, tipo 15 minuti, e il secondo circa 40 minuti. Posso sforare un po' oltre le 4, posso arrivare fino alle 4 e mezza, ma non oltre. Vai, dica Jover. I never thought that Lady Ben Castle piece would budge in at the very end. I search all over the place for a piece fitting of a game for you, for the game with you. I'm sure that you'll grow to enjoy her. Oh, what's with that piece? Who was that person? Who was it? She didn't say her name, that's not fair. Hey, don't you think so too? I have a general idea. Come on, normally anyone would know. Normally? No, he wouldn't. It was the first character's appearance, wasn't it? If he doesn't say her name, I won't. Players won't. Everyone won't know, right?
ベアト
Beato,
教えてあげ
it's alright if you don't tell her. See?
面白い子でしょ
Isn't she a funny kid?
ラムダデルタ教の天使
Lady Lambda Delta, simple-minded naivete, truly is precious and funny. Giovere, quella è una domanda per un altro giorno, non preoccuparti.
何よなんで私にだけ教えてくれないのよ
Why? I'm the only one you won't tell me, you meanie.
私だけが
Okay, in exchange, I'll tell you a special secret that only I know.
だから教えて
So tell me.
お
Oh?
とっておきの
A
秘密
special
だ
secret, you say?
聞きたいぞ聞きたいぞ、
Now I do want to hear that.
だ
Beh,
教えてほしかったら
if you want me to tell you, first tell me who that woman really is.
私の知った秘
The
密
secret I sure know is awesome.
何しろ
I mean, it's gonna blow you away like finding out that Santa-san is actually daddy. Huh?
言っちゃ
Oopsie, sorry. I'll bet you're so shocked that your world turned upside down, right?
お父さんが来てたの
Your father was the one who came to your place, Lambda.
来てたのって
To my place? Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
サンタクロース教は
Lord Santa Claus only visits the homes children with clean hearts. The homes of children with clean hearts. He didn't come to your place then.
まあ
Well, Lord Santa Claus is gracious. Unless you are a really bad scoundrel, he will give you a present.
何しろ
After that, after all, he gave them to me.
成長して
As you grow and your heart becomes hardened, he stops coming, doesn't he?
ベアトのとこには
You were old. How old were you, Beato, when he stopped coming?
12歳くらい
It
まで
stopped coming when I was about 12.
乙女心に目覚
My
め
maiden heart awoke, and I quickly got somewhat embarrassed about Lord Santa
これ
coming.
までありがとうございます
After I wrote thanks for everything, that's enough.
だから最後
So
に
make sure you
プレゼントを
splurge
奮発
on
して
the
くだ
last
さい
presents. He stopped coming. And I was looking forward to it too.
ベルンカステル教は
How old were you when he stopped coming, Lady Berncastel? I was pretty wild.
結構早かった
It happened fairly early.
確か9歳ぐらい
I think when I was about 9.
なんか
Something about that beard really irritated me, so I waited for with my futon, with some sewing scissors ready, thinking I'd cut it off.
痛いお年頃よ
What a cringe-worthy age.
でラム
So,
ダデルタ教
Lady Lambda Delta, as long as you remember, Lord Santa Claus has never come to see you, you say? He usually comes until the last year of elementary school or during middle school.
ある意味
Maybe we should have a doctor look at her.
早熟すぎ
I heard that maturing too fast can have an adverse effect on the growing of a mind and body. Yeah, there's definitely some of those
悪影
adverse effects. Hey, what are you guys talking about? It's truly boisterous when three witches gather.
この程度のレベル
If you're talking about that level of secrets, I doubt it's even worth listening to. Can I go now?
次のゲームの準備をし
I
な
have
く
to
ちゃ
prepare for the next game. Hey, wait a sec! Tell me who that woman really was!
じゃ
Then,
ああなたの
well
とっ
then,
ておきの秘密
tell me the special
先に
secret of
教え
yours
似
first.
合うものだって
If it's good enough, then I'll tell you.
いいわよ
Alright, I'll tell you. And it's a really special secret, okay? Remember in this game, there was a girl who found the gold and became the new witch, right?
おやつに
That's what kind of secret could that person have?
あの子の正体にね
I realize who that girl actually is.
みんなには分かる
Does anyone know?
ヒントはね
There was a hint in the way she talked.
ほら
Remember, that girl said it a lot.
なんとかしちゃえば
Why don't you something forever? Right?
そう
That phrase was the main point.
えば
Forever. Forever.
えば
Forever. Yes.
あいつの正体は
So she was actually Ushiromiya Eva.
なのよ
What do you think?
驚いちゃったか
Are you shocked? I did not notice that. To think there would be a hint in a place like that.
レアとって付き合い
You're good at playing with her. You're good with playing along with her, Beato.
その子
This kid can get a little full of herself, so don't take it too far. See you.
私の
I'm
席
leaving.
を外すわ
Wait. It's not fair for you to listen to my secret and don't tell me yours.
あの女の
Tell me who she really was.
あんたの秘密がすごす
Your
ぎ
secret was so incredible that mine just wouldn't match up.
強い代わりに
So in exchange, I'll tell you my own special secret.
私の秘密を教えてあげるの日暮らしの
I'll tell you the name of the culprit in the game called Igurashi no Naku Koroni. Yeah, don't tell me. I'm playing it right now.
じゃあねレアと
See you,
紅茶
Beato.
美味しかっ
The black tea was delicious.
たあと
Oh, about the cracker though, the repertoire of jam was lacking. Get some Guanjiang chili paste every once in a while.
シアンティーにもぴったり
It goes great with Russian
だ
tea.
ね
Later.
そうか分かった
Might seem. Alright.
試してみよ
I shall try
う
it.
次のゲームの
I shall call for you when the preparations are finished for the next
それ
game.
までゆっくり
Until then, feel free to wrap up a strategy at your leisure.
そうするの
Yes, I will.
今回のゲームは
This last game was pretty interesting. Later.
ちょっと待ちなさいよ
Wait a second, tell me! My, you two really are close. Yes, that's right. Oh, how I love you, Bercaster.
愛してるとさ言って
You
も
couldn't even say I'm in love with. You could even say that I'm in love with you.
瞳を
I
描
want to gouge out her eyes so she can see no one other than me. Oh, wouldn't just that be to die for?
紅茶に沈め
It'd be wonderful to dunk them in black tea.
ラムダデルタ教を
Who knew she had entraced Lady Lambda Delta to this extent? It seems I carry a heavy responsibility.
しかし今回は
Still, this last game truly was
あと
close.
一息で
I was a
バトル
breath away from defeating Butler.
1
Yato,
個聞いていい
can I at least ask you
飲
something?
んでおる
What is
あ
it?
の女の名前は
I won't tell you that girl's name.
いつまでチャラけてんの
Just when are you going to stop screwing around?
あんた勝つ気あんの
Do you even have the slightest intention of winning? Lambda Delta threatened her with a low voice that she had never used in front of Bercastel. It completely blew away the calm atmosphere which had been there until a moment ago.
私はね
You know,
ベルンカステルに
I'm
勝てるんだよ
supporting your cause cause you're meant to be a witch who can win against
あん
Bercastel.
たにベルンカステルに
If you don't have the power to win against her, then I'm ready to abandon you at any time. Got it?
これは手厳しい
How scathing.
わらわの何がゴン
What
バだ
about me
今
dissatisfies
日
you?
もご存知の通り
As you know, my game board is perfect. Lady Bercastel will never be able to win.
ええそう
Yeah, that's
あん
right.
たのゲーム版
Your
は
board really is impressive. Bercastel could spend 100 years or even 1,000 years here and she still would be unable to win against this game board. It is truly that impressive and perfect.
だから私
That's why, in exchange for letting me borrow that, I made you into a witch.
私があんたの
If I stop being your guardian, you immediately go back at being human.
どんなにすごい
Make sure you don't forget that, no matter how much incredible magic power you hold, you are nothing more than a temporary witch. I know that. I am grateful to you.
タメ口聞かないでよ
Don't speak so casually. I'll forgive that when Bercaster's around, but I won't when she isn't.
あんた最高
Recently, maybe you've forgotten your debt to me.
そんなことは
That is not so, my lady. I changed my mind. That creeps me out.
喋り方
You can talk the same way. You can talk the same way as usual, but be mindful of what you say.
私
I have a surprisingly short temper, you see. Back to the point. Your game board truly is perfect. You should be able to defeat Bernkastel without any trouble. But that kid won't give in easily. She'll challenge you over and over. That's no problem. It has been certified by you, Lady Lambda Delta. My game board is perfect. Yes, that's right. It's perfect. So as long as you, the player, are perfect as well, that is. I don't know what you mean by this. What I mean by this? That's what I want to ask you.
それは時にベルンカステルを煙に巻くからあんたなりの策略なんだと私も最初は思って
You play around a lot in your games. At first I thought it was part of your tactics, because it would completely baffle Bernkastel from time to time. But I get the feeling that you're not quite through. You're not playing around in a match you know you can win. The truth is, you don't care whether you win or lose, do you? Ridiculous. How could that be? Listen closely, okay? Your role is to break Bernkastel, force her to yield. In other words, that means being the victor in this game for all eternity. As long as you keep trying to become a certain victor, then I will give you my powers as the Witch of Certainty. However, if you fight in a way that doesn't deny any possibility of your loss, that's a different story. This is a game, of course, in the same way that Lady Bernkastel will lose if I win. There will be some days in which I will lose and she will win. The possibility of loss always exists. That's why This is why you're useless. There is no need for this to be a game board for you. It simply needs to be a bird cage to lock Bernkastel up here for all eternity. That's the role of a bird cage, making certain that the little bird inside never escapes. What's a bird cage worth if it has a gap that sometimes lets the birds out? Of course, game exists to be won, so it is impossible for me to lose. Therefore, I will continue to win, as long as you wish, for all eternity. Good answer. That is all I want. I'll allow you to play around and use fakes as part of your tactics. It was sometimes effective in your last game. But hear this, if you make a move hoping for anything else other than victory, make sure you are wonderfully prepared, okay? I will not do such a thing. I swear it. Originally, you weren't even a witch. I can remind you what truly shabby creature you were at any time. If you betray my expectations at any time, I will have a delightful penalty waiting for you. Out of the billions of fragment worlds out there, I'll send you into the most miserable fragments and seal you there. You were miserable in the first place, so it'll be worth choosing a really miserable fragment. How I love you, Bernkastel. Scrabble your feet in Beatrice's birdcage as much as you like, and spend 1,000 years learning that you can no longer escape. And when you give in, I'll train you so you don't tweet in anyone's palm but mine. Bene. Certo, ora controlliamo, volevo aspettare il codo successivo, il tea party successivo. ora controlliamo subito appena parte. 12 years later. October 4th, 1998. Ok, allora dobbiamo leggere. Jessica. Missing. She was indeed joined with Canon in the Golden Land. Aspetta, fammi sistemare qua. Allora. Jessica e Butler. Eccolo qua. She was indeed joined with Canon in the Golden Land. They apologized to each other for their cowardice and told each other their true and honest feelings, and they hugged each other until the final moment. Afterwards, she was chewed to bits by demons and went to hell. It's okay, Canon is with her. Shot and killed by Ushiromi Eva inside the mansion. The murder weapon was a sawed-off rifle from Kinzo's collection. Jessica lost her eyesight, but there was only her and Butler. Wolves and Ship Puzzle. Non c'è niente su Eva di nuovo. C'è Side, qua abbiamo già detto tutto. E andiamo avanti. A monotonous electronic sound kept on repeating. The theme of that room was so-called hygienic, emotionless white. It was a room of a certain university hospital. An ordinary person wouldn't be able to afford the cost of even a single night in this room. A room which neither her doctor nor she herself had any doubts she would be in a room at which neither her doctors nor mamma mia a room which neither her doctors nor she herself had any doubts would be the last she ever stayed in. Was the person on the bed Eva? She looked haggard and aged, to the point that you would not believe it was her unless you were told. A well-built man in a suit, waiting in the corner near the door, was having a conversation with the outside in a low voice over the intercom. He was a guard protecting Eva's person. After telling the person on the other end of the intercom to wait, he approached Eva's bed. Eva had been awake for a while. However, she stared at a single point in the empty space, as though her mind was not in the same place. Enge-san has arrived in the lobby below. Should we let her pass? For a long time, Eva didn't answer. However, bit by bit, her eyes began to regain their focus, and she gave a small nod, indicating that she didn't mind if they called Enge. Eva herself had been the one to call her, and she was right on time. Eva now refused to meet anyone without an appointment made in advance. The reason the room was dark, even though there was still light outside, was because the curtains were closed. There was always one guard waiting in the room, and 3 more waiting in the corridor and in the lobby. They were all there to protect Eva's person. Eventually, there was a sound of a knock. Also, there was a message from the intercom that the guest body's check had been completed with no problems. The door was unlocked and then opened, and a woman of about high school age was standing there. Chairman, Enge-san has arrived. Eva reacted and turned her face towards the guest. However, instead of reacting to the guard's call, maybe it would be better to say that she reacted to the smell of Enge's makeup. Having been shut up in this room for so long, Eva was sensitive to small changes in smell. So you came. Enge. Yes, I did. You did call me. On Eva's face, you couldn't find the expression of one warmly welcoming their niece. And on Enge's face, you couldn't see the expression of one pleased to see their aunt. Eva waved her arm, which had grown as thin as a withered branch, and motioned for the guard to leave. The guard bowed silently and went out into the hall. It's not only stuffy, but dark
カーテンで
too.
も開けたら
You don't have the curtain open?
そうすると
And then the 8 men you hired will shoot me through the window. Is that what you're planning?
あんたの暗殺以
If
外
it came to that, I'd much rather be the one paid to do the
家
hit.
でのんびり
All I have to do is relax and home for a month, and the job would take care of itself. Their discussion was quite morbid for an aunt and niece. However, they did not look like they were joking. At the very least, Eva did believe that someone was after her life. All of the Ushiromiya massive fortune had come into the possession of Ushiromiya Eva. It was said that in this fortune also included the 10 tons of hidden gold that Ushiromiya Kinzo was rumored to have kept concealed. They could do nothing while this vast wealth was in the hands of the cunning, sly, and extremely suspicious Eva. But it was rumored that if it had passed on to ENG, who was no more than a young girl, certain people were plotting to snatch it away at once. By now, Eva and ENG were Kinzo only descendants. If Eva died, all of the wealth would go to ENG. And if ENG were to be killed as well, that wealth would go to the family of ENG's mother, Kyrie. In that sense, not only Eva, but ENG as well, was in a position where it wouldn't be odd at all for her life to be targeted by some unknown person. And Eva had hated ENG for a long time, because after losing her precious only son, George, she had learned that the only one who was survived to inherit her own wealth was ENG, who had been absent for the family conference 12 years ago. Eva shunned ENG, hated her, even detested her. She isolated ENG in a special school and separated her from the youth and happiness normal people have, trying to deprive her life of all opportunity. However, Eva had succumbed to an incurable illness, and ironically, her remaining life was estimated to be the same as Kinzo's been at the family conference 12 years earlier. Both Eva and ENG hated each other. Even though they were each other's last blood relatives, they hated each other so much that they hoped that the other would die quickly.
それで
And
わざわざ呼びつけた
why did you go to all the trouble of calling for me?
私はもう長くない
I don't have much time left.
やぶ医者どもは
These quack doctors still have no idea what I'm poisoned with.
できない分かってる
But I know. I'm sure it's that secret assassination drug. The one that foreign intelligence agency was using. Oh, I'm going to be killed. Going to
殺されるのよよかったわ
Aren't you lucky? Very soon I will die. And then you will be so relieved.
でしょうね
かわいそうな人
What a pitiable person. This always happened. She immediately deviated from the main topic, distorting into more of an unsettling discussion. Eva, who was full of suspicion, believed that someone was always after her life. Indeed, after inheriting the vast wealth of the Ushiromiya family, she had used wild methods just like Kinzo had done in the past, and had repeatedly made money by any means necessary, creating many enemies along the way. With a massive supply of capital, she had launched aggressive takeovers against businesses which were standing to have a rapid growth, making them buy it back at a high price under the guise of reconciliation. Ironically, it was the same type of action that her husband's company had been hit with 12 years ago. She had repeated this constantly for the past 12 years. She had also earned a lot of hatred. If her husband had heard of this from beyond the grave, she might have defended her, saying that this was because of her loneliness from losing her family. However, no one who knew her now would come to her defense. For some time, Eva waxed eloquently about exactly how her life was being targeted, listing off names of people who likely had held hatred for her, and sneering at the fact that she still hadn't been killed. Even when ENG heard her own name included in that list, her expression did not change significantly, and she waited indifferently for Eva to tire herself out.
私はね
You know that
悔いのよ
I really hate you.
光栄ね
I'm honored.
私もよ
Same here.
ジョージのために築
I
いた未来
built
だった
this future for George's sake.
それをあんたにか
To
すめ取られ
think
るなん
that he would
て
be snatched away by
ル
you.
ドルフの娘に
To
奪われ
think
る
he
なんて
would be stolen by Rudolph's daughter.
私は悔しい
I can't bear
子を
it.
残せず
To think that not only I will not leave a
そ
child,
れが
but
私
that
に
even my
許
fortune
せない
will be stolen. That to me is just unforgivable.
だったら財産全部
In that case, why don't you just give it all to all your fortune to charity? What happened to all those religious people you've requested so many times?
連中はみんな
They all said the same thing.
多すぎる
My
財産
excessive
が
wealth
私
has
の
become a
ために
burden to me.
決まって
There's always things, they always say something about how I need to give it up and cleanse myself.
それで思い
And
つい
then
たのよ
the idea came to
寄
me
付はやめたわ
to stop donating. For a time, Eva had invited into the founders of several strange new religious cults, perhaps looking for a place in her heart. But in the end they did not give her heart any relief and only further increased their suspicion.
お金が余ってるなら
If you got money to burn, why don't you start buying up thoroughbreds and make some corned beef?
それよりもっと面白いことを思いついたのよ
I thought of something even more interesting.
いろいろな
I've racked my brains over it all a lot.
どうやればあなたをひどい
What could I do to make things horrible for you?
殺してしまう
I thought about just killing you.
あるいは
I also thought about erasing all of my wealth, leaving you penniless, and kicking you out of the Ushiromi family or something.
素敵でしょ
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
お上品に育てられた
A lady brought up
ご令嬢
prim
が
and proper, made to crawl around and prowl for moldy bread and muddy water.
ああそれも実に素敵だ
Ah, that would be truly glorious.
楽しい
Having fun?
楽しい
Oh
あ
yes.
なたを怯えさせる
It's fun to scare you,
もうじき
but very soon I will die.
だから
So I thought about how I can continue to cause you pain even after I die.
続けるか考えたのそうし
And then
案外単純な
it
ことだ
was
ったわ
surprisingly simple.
それをあなたに
I
話した
called you
くて
because I wanted to tell you about it.
そろそろ中間近いんだけど
I have midterms coming up. Keep it brief. I have decided
すべての
I
財産
will
を
have you
相続
inherit
するこ
all
とにし
of
た
my fortune.
へ
Huh?
それどころか
Not only that,
私が死ぬ最
I
後の
decided that
一日
until the very
どこ
day that I
までも
die,
財産を増
I'll
やし
increase that fortune as much as I can, inflate into a massive proportion, and you are to inherit all of it. Can you even imagine what that would be
想
like?
像がつくかしら
わかんないわ
No idea, because I'm stupid. No, you wouldn't have any idea, would you?
楽しみにして
Look forward to it. It's really fun being rich. Every day, from morning till night, monsters from across Japan will come to play.
あんたの私生活
From now on, your entire private life will be followed by talk shows and weekly magazines.
何をして
The media criticize me no matter what I do or don't do.
施せば
If I donate, they attack me as a bourgeois. If I begrudge them that money, I'll be abused as a miser. Oh, every day is really wonderful, you see?
そんな
I realize that I would love to invite you to that kind of life when you are so young and have so much ahead of you.
だの本当に
Isn't that just to die for?
あんたのしてきたことに対
The
して
public is right in criticizing all that you have done. Yes, yes, I'm sure they are. Go ahead, insult me as much as you want. And then you will be burned with that criticism. Japanese culture says that good people live in honorable poverty, while the wealthy should die. No matter what you do or do not do, you will eventually be held up as a symbol of envy and hate from across Japan. I wonder how twisted your life will become after living this way. You will have no allies. No one will listen to your worries. Insulting you will become a public sport, and no one can stop that. I'm really looking forward to it. I wonder how you will live your life and how you'll end it. Relishing your life of being unable to trust anyone in the world, love anyone, or talk with anyone. I'll be patiently waiting for you in hell, waiting for you to come falling down, bringing that story of hardship with you. Her insane laughter turned into a painful cough. Without changing her expression in the slightest, looking completely unconcerned, Ange stared at the only survivor of Rokkenjima. Perhaps because he found the violent coughing odd, the guard flew in as he gave a short knock on the door. Ange glanced at him, wordlessly showing that she hadn't moved a step from where she had been. Ange was prepared for some kind of trap to frame her in Eva's death. However, this was fortunately a needless anxiety. As the guard rubbed Eva's back, he poured hot water from a thermos into a mug. As he did, Eva kept coughing looking like she was in pain. Ange thought that it was probably the final form of the Witch of Rokkenjima, and the last she would be able to see. Eventually, Eva was able to moisten her throat and regain her normal breathing. However, the glittering madness inside her eyes hadn't subsided in the slightest. That cursed mass of gold and the inheritance of the Ushiromiya headship, as well as the name of the Golden Witch Beatrice, are now yours. Enjoy your insane, twisted life, fitting for the name of the witch. I don't care about those. Enough of that. Just tell me this. What happened on Rokkenjima that day? I don't believe that there was an accident. Tell me about the truth of what happened that day, and why Mom and Dad and Nissan died. Oh, that must be the best way to harass you, mustn't it? What happened on that day? What happened on this very day in 1986? You want to know what they said before they died, don't you? I won't tell you. I leave behind the cursed gold. But you know what? I'll take the truth you desire with me to hell. That's the best way I can harass you. Upset? If you want to hear, try going to hell and asking your family there. In that case, you better die right now, right? Shinjaeba. That laugh continued until she started coughing again, and that cough did not subside until she started moaning and going into convulsions. October 4th, 1986. On Rokkenjima, the Ushiromiya family customary and final family conference was held. On the next day, October 5th, an extremely unfortunate accident occurred and the Ushiromiya family was wiped out. As good luck would have it, Ushiromiya Eva escaped from that and succeeded almost all of the Ushiromiya family of fortune. However, due to the many turbulent rumors surrounding the Ushiromiya family, the way Eva acted afterwards and her natural actions at the time of the unfortunate accident, there was public controversy over whether this might have been a plot to get all of the inheritance for herself. Under pressure from the public, prosecutors attempted numerous investigations, and the media began tracing the outlines of the murder plot along the name of Rokkenjima Gate. But in the end, they were not able to find sufficient proof that this unfortunate accident was a crime. However, because of the media continued to give the impression that the Rokkenjima Gate was a murder plot by Eva, public opinion began to believe that she was the true culprit. Of course, all that easily commendable overbearing financial activity which she had been carrying out using that vast wealth left a bad impression that only made matters worse. Every time she did something and the rumors started spreading, the talk shows would bring up Rokkenjima Gate and blaming the justice system by saying that she was the true culprit and that the only reason that she hadn't been arrested was because even the police had been bribed. And the impressions that she was an evil criminal growing stronger and stronger, her heart eventually degenerated, and ironically, it began to transfigure her into the kind of human that the public expected. By now, Eva had no one she trusted and no family. Her beloved husband Hideyoshi was already no more, and the talk shows would occasionally mention his company, saying that it was run recklessly, while criticizing and disgracing his former accomplishments. Even her beloved son, George, was dramatized as the stereotypical rich, lazy son that the public expected, and no one even attempted to find out what a simple and honest character he had possessed. As to how much all of this hurt Eva and ran her to ruin, no one was interested. The public was only interested in the idea of an evil woman who had gone so far as to kill her own family, her whole family, to become a multi-millionaire, billionaire in questo caso. And what kind of pitiful final years she would live. And so she changed more and more until eventually Eva's personality was transfigured to the point that she was treated as a lunatic. It was said that sometimes remember that this was exactly the same way her father Kinzo, who she once admired, had been in his last years, and laughed at herself with scorn. And on the day of the family conference, because Ushiromiya's Rudolph's daughter ENG had been sick and had stayed with her mother family, she had not anticipated. At the age of 6, she lost her family and gained Eva as her guardian. Since ENG had become Eva's only blood relative, Eva took good care of her. She imposed guards always surrounding ENG's person to prevent her from coming to harm. ENG had even a right to play with friends, to come over home from school together, to enjoy the seasons together stolen, so that she can live a full and pleasant school life. Eva sent ENG to an elegant boarding school which took care of her every need, completely isolating her from the world. She didn't even know the popular songs that girls her age might hum. She was never once given a chance to enjoy window shopping with her friends or stuff her mouth with crepes, much less an encounter with a member of the opposite sex to make her heart throb. Enge did not have a single friend. If anyone carelessly acted friendly with Enge, they would be scolded by the guards or else the teachers. All of them were strictly ordered not to let the peasants approach the daughter of the esteemed Ushiromiya family. During that time, the talk shows were always talking about Ushiromiya Eva and always spreading rumors about her many financial evil deeds. Those who found out that she was her daughter naturally began to keep their distance. Even now, she was called a witch at school, and at any time something adverse happened, it was basically whispered as a truth that the school was operating according to her wishes, and that she had something to do with it. The environment makes the person. By now, she had a heart as hardened as those around her. By now, she had a heart as hardened as those around her feared. She trusted no one and didn't even try. She loved no one and didn't even try. On top of all of this, when Eva caught an incurable illness, it was whispered that these two had been planned, and this time Enge was set up as the mastermind. Everyone whispered that the daughter of the witch was a witch, and that the talk shows and the weekly magazine whispered that, so Enge too became of that. No. As though it might as well be true, accepted it. Therefore, since she already believed that she was a witch, when she heard that the name of the Golden Witch was being turned over to her, she felt nothing if not completely unfazed. However, she was at least sure of one thing. The title of which she had inherited would definitely never be inherited by anyone else. She would be the last head of the Ushiromiya family and the last isolated Golden Witch. Enge could be seen on the roof of the skyscraper, compared to the winds of the world, which had beaten down upon her until now. This strong, cold wind was warm and pleasant. Below her lay a beautiful nighttime scene and a dazzling river of red and white lights. It was a clear sky tonight, so there really should have been countless stars stretching out over the sky. However, the light from the ground was so bright you couldn't even see them all. Enge couldn't help but think that what she really sought lay somewhere in that unseen starlight. The world of reality below her looked so far away from here. The place felt to her as the closest to the world she really. This place felt to her as the closest to the world she really should be in. There was only one thing that Enge cursed. Why had I not been able to go to that family conference on that day 12 years ago? If I had gone, I would have probably been able to be with my family forever. Recently I've been having a dream about my family, over and over again. Myself of 12 years ago calls out frantically, urging them not to go to the family conference. But both mom and dad are too far away and my hand won't reach them. I reach for the hand of Butter Nissan, who always really loved me, for the hand that would always pat my head. But even though it looks like it's so close to reaching, even that falls short. For some reason I'm starting having that dream over and over again. Whenever I have that dream, I repeat my useless effort inside the dream, trying to stretch out my hand even more forcefully. If only Butter Nissan at least could have lived. Then perhaps at least the two of us could have supported each other through life in this cold and lonely reality. But his hand never reached me. Even if I climb to the roof of a building as tall as this one, I am distantly separated from all of them. A mysterious girl appears in my dreams and urges me. That girl in my dreams urges me to arrive at the truth of what happened 12 years ago. If I could learn what happened to Dad and everyone else on that day, would they come back? At least one of them. There was no way that anyone existed who could answer those words. I understand. In this world, I have no family, no friends, no one. So let's go. Let's go home, to where my family is. From the beginning, Angie's figure had been on the far side of the fence. The scenery below her was distant, beautiful, and so fantastical that it did not give rise to the slightest bit of fear. If I face down, I'll surely be taken by the world below. So I faced up, because I wanted to be taken to the world above, to the world where my family was. Who cares about vast wealth? Who cares about cursed gold? Who cares about the golden witch Beatrice? What I really want isn't something that even a mountain of gold will help me obtain. What I need for that is just a small amount of courage to take a single step forward. Just then, I definitely heard a voice, and I knew that voice. That voice that had always called to me in my dreams. Before my eyes, in other words, in midair, before the jet black nighttime scenery, there was a figure of that girl I've seen in my dreams. She spoke again with the same voice I've heard inside my dreams. Your assistance is needed. My assistance? Who needs it? Your family needs it. Your family is eternally imprisoned in a 2-day span that began on this day 12 years ago. If I save them, does that mean that my family will come back? When I asked the question I most wanted to ask, the girl cruelly stopped talking and hung her head. I cannot promise that. The enemy is the Golden Witch Beatrice, a mighty opponent. I cannot compete with her, but another Golden Witch might be able to manage something. I don't know what you're talking about. The only one who can oppose the Beatrice of 1986 is the final Beatrice of 1998. In other words, you, ENG Beatrice. That witch from 12 years ago took away my family? Yes, she is responsible for what happened to your family. The source that always leads you to your future of isolation. My family's killer. In exchange, I will search for the fragment with the ideal world that you wish for, the world where your family comes home. But I can promise you that your desire will be granted. The game board of 1986 Beatrice is quite perfect. I had planned on bringing you that ideal fragment as a present today, but I still cannot find it. It's a very firm fate. I haven't seen the likes of it since I fought with Lady Lambda Delta. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to find and bring you the happiest resolution that is possible for you to receive. Revenge. It may be a fruitless effort. Even if you succeed in your revenge, there's no definite proof that your family will return. If we win a miraculous probability, you may only be able to bring one person back. Angie now understood the meaning of that dream. That dream where it seems that with just a little bit more, her hand might at least be able to reach Butler Nissan. A miraculous probability, still higher than 0, right? Is it about 1%? Its probability values are powerless before the result, so I cannot tell you that number. But unlike if I don't do anything, there definitely is a small possibility. Yes, as long as you do not throw your hope away. But prepare yourself. It is extremely close to 0. Alright,
乗るわその
I'm
話
in.
いいのよ
Are you sure? You'll probably never be able to come back here again.
ここは
This is not the world where I belong.
そして
And as for the world where I belong, I find it myself.
探すあなたの名前を聞
Tell me your name.
奇跡の魔女
The Witch of Miracles, Ben Castle.
そして
And by that
我が名
name,
においてあなた
I acknowledge you as the Golden Witch, ENG Beatrice.
だと認める
Eccola qui. ENG Beatrice, the final witch born in 1998, named by Eva as her successor and named and accepted with Bercastel as her guardian. She is starting from zero as a witch, but her body is located 12 years in the future. She possesses ultimate magic resistance that prevents her from being targeted by any of Beatrice's magic. Additionally, completely converse to her older mother magic resistance, she has a talent for attacks against magic types. Her potential in both attack and defense is on the highest level, but the distance is great. 12 years really is. Ushiromiya Enge, Rudolph and Kiria's daughter, Butler's younger half-sister. She didn't get to see Butler often, but they got on extremely well and she greatly respected him. Since she was absent due to illness during the family conference, she survives in solitude. Unfortunately, she has become emotionally disturbed. She always carries a huge amount of cash with her and has the bad habit of throwing it around to make sure she never has to wait. Se mi ricordo bene, nel picchiaduro la sua presa è tipo prendere una mazzetta di soldi e sbatterla in faccia al nemico. Importante.
今こそあなたは本当の
As of now, you are a true witch. The instant she proclaimed that I was a witch, I felt dizzy, as though something inside me had changed drastically. Then I heard a slam. It was the sound of a door connecting the staircase to the roof being opened. There were... Aspetta. Aspetta un secondo.
20マルタイ発見屋上応援求む
Aspetta.
探しましたよそこは危ないですから
Aspetta.
こちらへ
何
What's that?
ファンクラブよ
My fan club. I'm pretty popular.
捕まる必要
No point in getting caught.
行きましょう
Let's go. Oh? Non è finito? Looking annoyed, Bercastel turned on her heels. It is the jet black sky. Watching that perfectly casual gesture, I follow her as though it was completely normal.
エンジさん
Angie-san,
待ちなさい
wait.
早まるな
Don't be hasty. Look out!
ああダメね全然ダメじゃあまたね See you again
Time to go. See you again.
迎えにはリムジンをよこしてちょ
Please
う
send
だい
a limo to get
みん
me,
なも一緒だから
cause everyone else will be with me
じゃあ
too.
ね
See you.
エンジさん
E si butta dal palazzo. Ah, questo è lo sfondo dell'episodio 4? Ok. Vabbè, qui abbiamo i characters. Posso fare execute su Angel? No, ok. Posso fare execute su Eva? No, ok. Mi davano informazioni in più se facevo... No, qua non potevo farlo proprio, ok. Qua abbiamo già letto tutto. Abbiamo le tips di episodio 3. Allora... Ah, questo vabbè è quello che è venuto alla fine. Queste tre cose leggiamo. Siesta Sisters Imperial Guard Corps. an Imperial Guard Corps formed by the Dragon King Pendragon in celebration of the Red Dragon's flight, and composed only of sisters. There were originally subordinates of the Dragon King, but because of a long relationship with the past Beatrice, she permitted 2 of the Imperial Guard soldiers to be lent out. The sisters are beings with a false life, created by magic. For that reason, sisters with a great variety of personality are even now being created as their numbers continue to increase. Manifesting into the human world requires a great cost, and summoning them is difficult even without taking their tremendous fighting power into consideration. For this reason, they are often summoned as honor guards in special ceremonies. The Siester Golden Bows, one of the pieces of sniping equipment belonging to the Siester Sisters Imperial Guard Corps. The arrow trajectory can be controlled at will, but it takes a special talent and special training to master its true potential. Therefore, the equipment itself is a sign of high-class sniper prestige. It is a masterpiece anti-armor sniping bow, capable of penetrating a wide variety of armors and barriers, and with a rich variety of selectable ammunition for the arrow's warhead. Furthermore, the ones primarily used through the story were wire-guided winged piercing rounds. Because they are wire-guided, they are capable of highly deceptive long-range precision sniping in complicated indoor terrain battles. Regarding the succession of the witch. In the noble families of witches, family secrets are often inherited by a single child to prevent the unchecked propagation of hidden arts and the decline of quality. It is the same with the endless witches, where their greatest hidden art goes to a single child and the predecessor retires after passing it on, protecting even more strongly against the spread of this hidden art. Custom dictates that a witch from another sect must make a recommendation for the succession. Eva's reference was Lambda Delta, Enge's reference was Bernkastel. It is unknown who recommended Beato. Furthermore, during the story, Beatrice passed on her name as well, but this custom only began recently. The predecessor was the original Beatrice, and the endless witches before her had different names. After that, it became customary that the name was also inherited, and Eva, following the tradition, gave Enge the name of Beatrice. Poi il grimorio, qua c'erano Galg, eccolo qua, short for Gal Games, Girl Games. The term generally describes non-adult visual novels that feature attractive girls as the main hook, including but not limited to dating sims. The definition of the term is fuzzy, but it also may be used in a wider sense that includes adult games. Merute. Ah, ok. Va bene. Jover dice però adesso sono curioso, alla fine Eva era la colpevole anche in episodio 1 e 2 e i cadaveri non erano veri, oppure il colpevole cambia in episodio? Nel primo e nel secondo gioco Eva Ushiromia è morta. La mettiamo così. No, fermi tutti. Non possiamo ancora, perché non posso neanche farvi vedere ancora la opening, perché ci sono robe di episodio 5, 6, 7, 8 dentro. Non si può proprio. E vabbè, comunque ora possiamo leggere la descrizione. The Alliance of the Golden Witch. Good morning. I could have never imagined that you would not have surrendered by now. At this point, even I must expect great things from you. The game is played not only on the board. Perhaps this time you should take a small peek beyond its borders. As they say, if you know your enemy, you need not fight 100 battles. The difficulty level depends upon you. How you have chosen to battle up until now will influence this difficulty.